Welcome back to another video. So I have got some stuff to catch you guys up on. It is Tuesday the 13th of January. I might be fidgeting loads, my back's a little bit stiff. Tuesday the 13th of January. I'm actually feeling great today. Yesterday was a crazy long work day. I think I was at my desk from about 7 in the morning until 7 in the evening with very minimal breaks. Just how Mondays fall for me. Nutrition check-ins are on a Monday, as well as still catching up with my normal powerlifting athletes as well. It was a really busy day. I had a couple of programs to get up to date too for people whose blocks ended up finishing Monday rather than Sunday. So it was just a pretty busy work day, as well as I had podcast calls as well. It was a really great day, but thankfully today was a little bit quieter. I was supposed to have a couple of calls in the middle of the day, and I was actually quite stressed about fitting everything in today, including meal prep, which I'll get onto in a second. But thankfully, the calls had to be rearranged. So I was upset the calls got rearranged, but they weren't just cancelled, they've been rearranged, so it's not a problem. So it actually gave me some free time this afternoon, and they've been moved to days that are generally a little bit quieter for me. So all is good on that front. Today is the start of my cut because I have signed up to British Bench. I am about 6.5 weeks out, just under 7 weeks out from my first ever bench only. I think it's also my 20th official competition, I think. I'm really excited to do a bench only comp. It's gonna be a bit of a side quest. I'm not really prioritizing it too much. Like, the main focus this year is of course gonna be full power. I really want a GB singlet. Since I started this sport, the goal has been to get a GB singlet. And I never wanted that to be through bench only, like that means full power. The goal is still to get one through full power, but equally, if I can get one for bench only, why not go for it? So that is kind of my side quest this year, is going to be aim to win British Bench and then get myself a GB singlet and hopefully compete at Euros and or Worlds this year. But we will obviously see. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. You never know who's gonna turn up, but I do like my chances. So I'm really excited, but there is a very big but in this conversation. Body weight is going to cause some problems. I'm actually feeling really calm. My nutrition coach, to be fair, she said exactly what I would say if it was one of my clients asking this, and she did advise me against it, and she did advise for me to do it as an 84 plus instead. However, because of the fact of I want to do internationals as an 84, I want to do the qualifier as an 84 as well. I am confident in my decision to do this, and she does support me obviously fully. It's just one of those things of you have to advise sensibly. But so she's had to give me fairly aggressive cut. My calories are the lowest they have been in a long time. I feel really bad as well because I didn't realize she'd already done my check-in yesterday before I told her that I was definitely going to do it. I'd mentioned on my form that I was thinking about it, but we hadn't had a chance to have an actual conversation yet. So she actually found out through my Instagram story that I had signed up. And we did have a laugh and it was all fine. And then I watched my check-in video and she explicitly was like, I really don't think this is a sensible idea. And my boyfriend was in the room with me while I was listening to her video, and I was like, oh my God, I'm actually dying at the fact that I've just signed up to this without actually having a conversation with her. But of course, she's amazing and she has come up with a plan. And I said to her, I promise I will be the perfect athlete after this, and I will stick to this plan 100%. So, current plan, obviously this is only my food. Do not copy this. This is much lower food than I would recommend for most powerlifters, especially at my body weight. But it is what we need to do for now. And I don't think we'll need to stay on this for that long. I do think I'm going to drop pretty quickly on this, but I will talk you guys through the plan because I like to be transparent in these videos. So current plan with doing British Bench. My body weight currently, just for context, I was 88.9 yesterday morning. I was 89.1 today. I'm expecting to see a decent drop tomorrow. Various reasons as to why I was a little bit up today, but I was 90.7 on Monday of last week. So just for context, I've dropped a lot very quickly just from getting back into routine. Last week, my calories were around, well, I think it was averaging between 2,300 and 2,500. The plan to make as close to under 84 and then do an acute cut, basically. There is no universe where I actually get to under 84 and maintain any level of strength between now and the end of February. So British Bench is the 28th and the 1st. So 28th of February, 1st of March is the final weekend of that month. And it is literally 6.5 weeks away, or just over 6.5 weeks away. There's no way I'm going to drop that many kilos in that time and not feel awful, okay? So I think the plan is for me to basically get about 85.5, 86 and cut from there, which is something I'm incredibly familiar with. So that's absolutely fine. And I haven't had a full conversation with my coach yet about the actual acute cut side because she is on annual leave right now. But when she's back, we'll talk it through in a bit more detail. But I've said to her when I first started, I was like, I'm happy to take control of the acute cutting because I know exactly what works for me. And I think the biggest concern here is it's going to be quite an intense deficit into an acute cut. Firstly, not the best way to start the year after struggling with my relationship with food over the last month or so. But also, I don't want to feel like crap on the day, and obviously it will impact my strength on bench press. Usually when I do these cuts, or every time I've cut in the past, bench press has shown up and felt great on the day for the most part, but I've had the timing of squats to fully recomp and rehydrate, whereas with a bench only comp, I'm not going to have that luxury. Hopefully I'm in like the second or third flight, depending on how they split the day up, which means I will get more time, but that's just going to be a question mark. However, I'm going to sound arrogant saying this, I would be surprised if I don't win, even with the stress of dehydration or the impact of dehydration. Granted, there are some women that could enter that don't usually, that could beat me, but I am pretty confident about my chances of placing well, even with a bit of a hindrance to my performance from doing a cut, basically. Now, I don't like saying that publicly because I think it makes me sound incredibly arrogant, but also athletes are arrogant, so it is what it is. And I feel like male athletes say this stuff all the time and it's fine. So I do back myself, even with a shitty cut, to do well. Like I do, completely. But let me talk you through the plan. Sorry, my brain is just going all over the place. The plan, I am currently on, while my coach is on holiday, just to get a kickstart of things, 1,700 calories. Macros, I can't remember exactly what they are. The lowest they've been, 160 carbs, I think. For comparison, I'm normally on between 220 to 250. Protein, I'm normally 170 to 180. That is down to 145. Fats, I'm normally kind of between 65 and 80, depending on the time of year and things. That is 55. So, it might even be 50, can't remember. Now, this is very low, but when calories are this low, you need to lower everything as well. And we kind of had the discussion around, you shouldn't drop your protein loads when you're doing a cut because obviously you want to maintain muscle mass. But in order to hit my normal level of protein, my carbs and my fats would have to be extortionately low to hit these calories. And it's a very short-term thing. So I do think this is quite a drastic, and I know my coach agrees, this is a very drastic drop in calories, but essentially I need to be in quite a large deficit to stand a chance of getting there. And the way I'm seeing it is, if I now drop really quickly over the next 2 weeks before my next nutrition check-in, we'll just increase my food. And that'd be great. I'm obviously going to be sensible with it, and I'm very good at regulating, and my coach knows this as well, which I think is why I'd like to say she trusts me, but I've definitely stressed her out. I'm very good at regulating, so I will adapt where needed if I need to in between this next check-in over the next 2 weeks. I'm feeling good, and the way I've planned my food out, which I will talk you guys through kind of what I've been eating today, and roughly, I'm going to eat similar foods every single day just to make my life simpler. I don't think we'll need to be on this low calories, I genuinely don't, but I am willing to try and see how I feel, see how training feels, and get where we need to. But I also am very aware that I can do a harsh cut at the end if I need to. So I'm not too stressed. I do think if we stuck with my maintenance calories for another week, I'd probably still drop down to 88 anyway, because I'm still kind of getting used to eating normally again post-Christmas, post all of December. It was a whole month of me not eating great. So there is that to bear in mind. But I will do as I'm told. I have people I trust in my corner, and I'm just going to do as they tell me. That is what I'm paying them for, and I trust them anyway. My advice to anyone in a deficit or just trying to get better with their nutrition, learn to cook with just basic staples in your cupboard. It will save you so much time, and it can keep your diet interesting. People that don't know how to cook will see my macros and essentially just live on plain chicken and rice, and that will just be, I couldn't do it. I'd sooner move up a weight category than do that. I just can't. So yeah, find staples that you enjoy, and I'll probably just rotate these for maybe, realistically, my next check-in is 2 weeks yesterday, so towards the end of the month on a Monday. Realistically, I'll probably just rotate these meals for the next 2 weeks. I will say something that was really funny on my check-in with my nutrition coach as well. So I went to her and I said, I've been eating like a child. Like when I'm not tracking and I'm not being held accountable and I'm just out of routine, I eat like a child. And what I mean by that is I don't eat anything with any nutritional value, and I'll just snack, and I'll just eat for the sake of eating, and I end up in such a surplus and I don't even feel full from it. Like, whereas eating my normal routine, like she was really impressed with my food last week, and she was quite surprised at how like balanced it was and how much of a mix of things I had. And I was like, this is what my diet normally looks like. Like 90% of the year, this is my diet. It's only normally to be honest, it's normally post-comp is the worst time for me. And I don't think I'm alone. I know I'm not alone with that. I have clients that say the same thing. I really struggle. And like this time I struggled a lot more than I have ever before. And I think she was like, is this just because it's week one and you're trying to like, you're motivated to do well, you're motivated to take things seriously, you're just doing things kind of properly. And I just thought to myself, I was like, no, like I genuinely eat like this and this is how I enjoy eating. It's just, I've gotten out of the routine of it. But one whole week of just eating in routine and I feel like a new person. Even like I feel so much more confident in myself. I feel my skin feels better. I feel healthier. Everything feels better. I feel more motivated for working. I feel more motivated for just normal life. I'm more energetic. Like I'm getting up earlier. Like all of December, I really struggled to get up to walk my dog. Whereas now, like, don't get me wrong, I'd love to stay in bed for an extra half an hour, but I'm up before 7 every single day and I just feel so much better for it, getting my steps in. I don't know that I actually mentioned the goal as well. So along with nutrition, I have got movement goals. So this is such a long talking segment, I do apologise. There is also another plane about to go overhead, so I'm just going to keep going, and if that is too annoying for you, just skip this whole section, honestly. So movement goals, 12k steps a day, and if I fail to hit 12k steps a day, 2 20-minute steady state cardio sessions a week. Zone 2, so nothing crazy, but I will say my average steps are 8 to 10k, and it's not going to be hard for me to boost that up to 12. It just means making sure that I go on every single dog walk. My dog gets 2 walks every single day, but some days if I've had a really busy work day, my boyfriend will walk in without me in the afternoon/evening. It just means making sure that I make the time to go on both of those every single day. If I'm a little bit short and it gets to like 8:30 in the evening, I'll just take myself on a little stroll. I'll take the dog with me. He'll love it. It's not going to cause a problem. 12k steps a day is the plan. I intend to hit that. I was already doing 2 30-minute cardio sessions a week. I am going to lower that to 220, I think. Even though it's optional and it's basically if I don't hit my steps to do that, just because it makes me feel good. So I'm going to do that. But that's also where I think calories are probably too low, but I'm going to stick with them and I'm just going to see how I feel, monitor training. I don't think they're low enough that training's going to feel terrible. And I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm so stubborn that I refuse to let a deficit impact my training. I might eat my words in a few weeks' time, but I am so stubborn that I am confident that if I just like bullhead my way through this, I will not lose strength. My leverages won't be impacted too much. I will be fine. I will continue to PB. Training will continue to go really well, and I will be fine and unaffected by this deficit. That is what I'm telling myself. We'll see. We'll see how that works for me. But I do think mindset is always such a big thing with. I mean, we know mindset is so big with training anyway. I need to just be confident with this. But yeah, so basically, the main thing I need to do is just really manage my time well. And the other thing that I am going to have to really dial in, and I think this will make the biggest difference for me with everything, is sleep. I've been averaging around 7 hours a night, which isn't enough. I can function on 7 hours a night, but with being in a deficit, I need the calories that I'm losing from my recovery, I need to replace with sleep, if that makes sense. So I need to make sure that I'm sleeping enough. So my goal is to be in bed between 9 and 9:30 every single weeknight, and then on the weekends by 10 o'clock in bed, like going to sleep by that time. And that is something I'm going to really try and stick to as much as I physically can. The only 2 weeknights where that proves to be difficult are tonight on a Tuesday and a Wednesday because of training, going to the gym and other things. Like by the time I meal prep tonight, I'm probably going to be cutting it fine. But that's just one of those things, and I will just do my best to kind of get better at managing that. So I think that's my updates. I am silly for doing this. Like I am very aware this is not a sensible plan, like at all. But I want to do British Bench. I want to get a GB singlet. Financially, it would be really silly for me to do Commonwealth this year. Having said that, I know what I'm like, and if the invite comes through, I'm probably still going to go for it. But I think I would probably rather just go on 1 or 2 trips to Europe. It'll be much cheaper, do British bench, do GB, like do international bench for GB if I get selected. I think that's probably a more sensible choice for this year. But we will see. I'm very good at changing my mind. But I have officially signed up for the comp. I have officially paid, and I am officially like 6.5 weeks out. So I am excited. If you've made it through all of this talking, I really appreciate it. Please be sure to like and comment and let me know that you're still here. I've been getting lots more messages recently of people that watch my YouTube as well, and I just want to say, like, I mean, I obviously reply to them and tell them how grateful I am, but like, I forget that anyone is watching these, and it just feels really cool when people are like actually keeping up with what I'm doing in training and stuff. And I do genuinely just want to say how much I appreciate it, especially when I talk for this long and people actually stay tuned in, because I could not listen to me talk for this long. But anyway, let's get this session underway. It is secondary bench day, week 2 of the block, so nothing too heavy, but 3 count pause triple into a single, and then last and 6s, I think. Haven't actually looked at the program, I'm just gonna do one thing at a time, but I should be able to get this done pretty quickly and then go off and do my accessories.
Really been going back to back to back to back to back to back to back, like the neighborhood warriors. I don't miss, I don't play none, I don't diss, I don't say none. I go swish, that's an A1. I steak with no A1. Tell the chef, I said thanks. Tell I'm in the bank. Tell my mom I'm living good. Tell my kids don't stress a thing. I go back to back on the drops, drop a lot, and she pack the bags. She shot till we drop. I just wake up, I don't say nothing. I'm on go, I don't stay long.